Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to welcome you to the I panel for Together.eu. Our panel is about turning your ideas into realities. So, I'm Lucille. I work for the European Parliament and I'm part of the Together.eu team. So, you actually might wonder what Together.eu is. So, it's a pan European community that encourages everyone to be active in democracy and also to be active, to take action for a better European Union. It's an initiative from the European Parliament. It's non-partisan. And of course, you can have a look at our website. The link will be put in the comments. So if you want to register, learn more, etc. So the goal of the event today is to help you get active if you're not yet. And how are we going to do that? We're actually going to speak with our two guests, Mauro and Jeanette, who are Together.eu volunteers. And we will learn from their experience, get inspired. You can ask all your questions. So don't forget to put your questions in the comment. We're going to pick them up right after. And just a point. So you're going to hear us speak a lot about the conference on the future of Europe. So what is that if you haven't heard about it yet? So that's a consultation of citizens and you can input on an online platform ideas you have to have a better future Europe on lots of topics. So you can go visit the platform and read the ideas of others. You can see events you can participate to all across Europe. So really, we invite you also to have a look and maybe input your ideas. So I'm gonna quickly introduce our speakers. Mauro and Janet, thank you so much for being here. So Mauro, you're Spanish, but right now you're doing your Erasmus in Germany as a good European. So you are part of Equipo Europa, which is a pan-European association for youth and actually founded by Together.eu members. And you, Jeanette, you're Danish, but I know you like to define yourself first as European, and you're very active on the conference on the future of Europe. So thank you very much to both of you to be here with us today. So first, I would like to know, how did you become involved with Together.eu? What made you want to be active about Europe? I don't know who wants to start first. Janet, maybe.
Yes, thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. I have been politically active since I was a little girl. Since I was 6 years old and didn't really understand, but I understood that you have to be an active citizen. And I got on the Together EU platform mostly by chance, but I was really looking for like-minded fellow citizens concerned about the future of Europe, which we all should be, but not everyone is active, and we need to change that, because as a citizen in a democracy, your job is not done simply when you go to vote. So I reached out and found a great platform in Together EU, and I can only recommend everyone to join, because we are a colorful bunch and we're very different. We don't always agree, but it's a nice and very good project to support us in Europe.
Thank you. Mauro, what about you?
Yeah, for me, it's more or less the same idea. I think Together.eu is a great way to find like-minded people across Europe, because we tend to work nationally and work with people that speak the same language as we do, but we tend to narrow our view to our national sphere. And I think Together.eu is a great platform to reach across borders, to get to know new cultures, new people with new interests on the same European Union, but so many different interests they can find within what they do. And I think it's a great opportunity to meet new people, and I've made friends together with other colleagues and people I've met in Together.eu. And I think it's a great opportunity to basically meet people, get to know Europe better, and get to know great people.
Great, thank you. So actually, have you always been EU believers, both of you?
I think I have. I've always been a pro-European for sure, but I've been very critical of the European Union. I've been for many years very critical, and I think still am in many issues. But I think the answer is not to get rid of the European Union, for example. It's always to reform it from within. And for that to be possible, for things to change and be better, you have to be part of the conversation. And I think that's why we're here.
Yeah. What about you, Jeanette?
No, I have not. When I became politically active and joined a political youth organization, and when I was 15 years old, that's now 26 years ago, I was in a group that by default is skeptical towards the European Union. I don't think we were very conscious about why we were skeptical. Some were even, against it, and we tended to think more about national political issues. And then there was one event. At this point, I wasn't as outspoken as I am today, and when all your friends have one opinion, you sort of tend to have the same, and yeah, why not? But then there was one event where we were talking about the European Union, and everyone were like afterwards, "Oh, this is so great! We're all against it," and I was like, "I'm not even against it. I don't know enough to be against it, and I think actually it's good that we're all working together." And I said some very profound words in that after meeting session, where I said that I want to be the first female president of the United States of Europe. And I don't have that aspiration anymore, but I do have the aspiration that we should work even closer together. And since then, and this is now more than 25 years, I have been a super European, and I am proud to be that.
Okay, interesting story. Maybe you could tell us a bit of the different projects you have been working on with Together.eu. To raise awareness about the EU, but also maybe on the conference on the future of Europe. So I don't know, Janet, do you want to start?
Sure, I can say that of course, doing different activities that you can join on the Together.eu platform, and not only on the platform, but there are many different activities, and especially here during the pandemic, we've had a lot of online sessions. I think it's also been very nice because, as Mauro said, we tend to work more national, even about the EU issues, and it's nice just to be able to speak to as many people from across Europe and to listen to the different ideas and the challenges that we have in the different countries. But to raise awareness about the EU, I try to do that on a daily basis. I don't make a big PowerPoint presentation every day and try to tell everyone how the European Parliament works. But if someone has a problem, and I can just say this, yesterday, a friend of mine, she was a bit skeptical to buy from an online shop in Czech Republic, because she's never really ventured into online shops outside of her country. And I said, well, why are you skeptical? We're protected by EU consumer laws. I mean, we're EU citizens. These are membership states. And just to make this awareness that the EU is a part of our everyday life and is a good part of our life is something that I try to do. And for the conference, we all have great ideas of how the society should be solved. And we often tend to, do this politician bashing, where we tell, oh, the politicians are stupid. They don't know what they're doing. Why are they not doing like this? And I seize that moment. And then I say, okay, you know what? If you know how things should be done or how it should be changed, bring your ideas to the platform. I mean, now is that chance. And that is, I try to use those opportunities, but also in general, just tell people that, this conference is going on, and maybe you don't have an idea you want to bring, but go and endorse some ideas, make some comments, make some noise.
Yeah. And I understand that you actually participated in some workshops where people were proposing or discussing their ideas. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, this was also something that we came out of the Together.eu and the EU Parliament. We had a workshop where first we decided on 4 topics that was going to be discussed. And the participants were mainly from Germany, where I live, and from Austria. And so we decided on 4 topics. And those 4 topics were then in 4 separate workshops discussed. There was mobility, education, environmental issues, and also democracy. And from each workshop, we brought 3 ideas that came to the platform. And this was such a great opportunity because you got to really listen to a lot of people and their challenges in everyday life, their ideas of how we should improve, not only for now and not for tomorrow, but really for the next 5-10 years and for the generations to come. And it was so inspiring, so motivating to work in this. And we really got 12 great proposals out of this. No, sorry, only 11. In one we only had 2, but nonetheless 2 great ones. But that we were able to do this. And in our closing workshop, we had MEPs come and listen to our proposals, which was really great because this conference is an opportunity for citizens to be heard and for politicians to listen. And that's really, I think, ideally, as long as the conference is going on, politicians should just, stay quiet and just listen, absorb everything that we Europeans and fellow citizens have to say. I think that's yes. But it was great workshop. It really was, and it's a format that I wish more people would copy. Maybe not in the same length, but at least the format was really great.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jeanette. And you, Mauro, well, what about you? What were the last projects you participated in?
With Together.eu, we've done a few projects here in Spain and with Equipo Europa. But the main thing, or the last thing we did was a summer course that we did on the end of around September, more or less, about a month ago. And we deal with the state of the European Union and future perspective of the European Union. So we talked about how things were and how things could be, which I think is the main goal of the conference on the future of Europe. So I think they're a great opportunity to assess the situation, to meet new people, and to hear new ideas. And I think that should be the goal in every single event that we do in the framework of the conference, to hear what people have to say. And with those ideas, to build onto the platform and to build onto the conference, and actually ask for a consequence, for a result from those ideas. Because everything is great if we have just ideas and we talk about it and we propose things. If we don't move towards an actual solution, an actual action after those ideas, many people are going to feel very not really motivated to keep working or to keep doing what they're doing. And if we're trying to encourage participation, we have to translate it into action.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, that's a great initiative to learn a lot. And I heard also you had a forum for how was it called? Forum for the Future of Europe, where you created also ideas.
Yes. One of our main projects from this last year is the Forum for the Future of Europe. The Forum for the Future of Europe, it's, I think, one of the greatest things we've done in Equipo Europa. And it's a forum, as the name says, collecting ideas on the main 6 topics that the von der Leyen Commission set forward. So there's the rule of law, democracy, economy, foreign policy, etc. And with those goals, with those themes, we put forward 100 proposals on how the future of Europe should be, how we want to see the Europe change. So they're reaching from proposing green solutions to climate ready cities and climate resilient cities, and to encourage the participation of women in STEM fields. So it's incredibly wide, the range is incredibly broad. But I think it brings a huge and very interesting perspective. So to the amount of things that we could do within the European Union. So we worked with a bunch of our associates and people like that, and also with academic advisors and experts to do these proposals. So it's not just a random person saying, "Hey, we should change the role of the European Commission president so she is whatever," or something like that. No, it's like actual proposals that we actually uploaded to the platform. So people can see them, people can talk about them, and we'll present them in the European Youth event this following weekend.
Great. So we will see you in Strasbourg. What is it? Friday and Saturday.
Yes, I'm traveling there tomorrow. So yeah.
Brilliant. I will be there too. So if anyone watching is coming, we might see each other in the European Parliament and at the Together.eu stand. So that's great. Okay, and so have any of you two inputted ideas on the platform of the Conference of the Future of Europe? Would you say it's something easy or not? Would you have tips for people who maybe have ideas, but they don't dare, they think it might be complicated, or they don't have the right language? I don't know. How do you feel about that? Maybe Jeanette, you could tell us.
Yes, I brought several ideas already to the platform. Some of them are from the workshop that we did. Some of them are actually my own, and some of them are ideas that friends or family or colleagues, whatever, have said, "Oh yes, I have this idea, but I'm hesitant to put it in my own name on the platform." And I am happy to be a tool to help anyone to put their ideas on the platform, because maybe there's just this golden idea that can connect all of us. So all ideas should be heard. I think it's rather easy to use the platform. It's very intuitive to navigate in. The only problem that I've had is there was one proposal that a friend of mine, I encouraged her to put the proposal that she had tried to gain knowledge for nationally, and also where she lives in her local city, but it wasn't possible. No one was listening, and I said, "Good, bring it to the European level, and we will listen. We will get more people to listen." And she tried to input this idea several times, and it ended up being like 4 times on the platform. And it wasn't easy to delete it. And I'm not going into details, but I was thinking, okay, I'm going to help her. I have advised her. So I was calling the help number that's actually on the page. And it wasn't a help number for the conference platform, and very nice people trying to to assist. But I think that's maybe the only thing that I have experienced, is that if I have a technical issue on the platform, it's not been that easy to find. But that has been like really a minor incident. For the rest of it, it's intuitive to use. It's easy to use. You have the translations of the proposals when you can't read that language. And if you think that, oh, maybe the translation, because it is an automatic translation, maybe translation is not 100% accurate, then just reach out. I mean, there is a chat possibility. There's a possibility to reach out to the proposal, to the one who makes the proposals, and just reach out and say, "Hey, you've written this idea. I'm not quite sure that I understood it because it wasn't the automatic translation." So there's also this interaction possibility that you have. And I tend to say to the people that are hesitant to go on the platform, to register, I'm like, what are you afraid of? Like, what? Europol will come and arrest you because you had a bad idea? I mean, that's not going to happen. I mean, we sign up for so many strange apps and games that we download. And this is something that actually matters. And you shouldn't be afraid to sign up and endorse an idea. It's that's not warranted, and there's no need to be. And you don't have to be tech savvy to use the platform at all. It's easy, and it's also easy not only if you want to upload your idea, but it's also easy to find So maybe you're saying, oh, I want to get interested in this. I have this, there's a search function, and it's easy to find ideas that you can endorse. You don't only have to go on the platform because you want to write an idea.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. And you, Maro, you had the same experience?
Yeah, I think it's incredibly easy to participate in the conference. I think the online platform has been a great success in that regard. Like, it's allowed people to really be able to participate and bring their ideas. And in regards to how to encourage people who are not sure or uncertain if to participate in the conference or on the platform, I think the comment that Jeanette made can be summarized in: there's no wrong ideas, and without new ideas, there's no new change. So I think we need people to participate. We need people to bring their ideas to the table. And you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be an academic advisor or someone that is extremely knowledgeable in that field. You have to be a citizen. You have to be a person that is affected by the European Union, that is part of the European Union, and whose voice must be heard in the European Union. So I think anyone should participate. Everyone should participate. And we should make sure that as many people as possible are aware of this possibility and are participating in the political process of the European Union.
And I just want to add that it's very important part what you just said. You don't have to be a politician. You don't have to work in this field. And you don't have to write in a language like this strange political language that no one understands. I think maybe only law students and lawyers, they understand this, because politicians, they generally don't understand this language anyways. But you're not writing on the platform for politicians. You're writing for your fellow citizens, because that's really what it's about. You're communicating to your fellow citizens. I have an idea. Please endorse it. Let's discuss it. Let's comment it and bring it one step further. And anyone interested can just, search my name on the platform, and you can see some of the ideas that I have brought in my own name and also on behalf of others. They are not long scientific whatever ideas. They're just basic language. We should do this because right now the idea is not how to execute it. It's simply just idea that we should do this, why we're not doing this, and then you can elaborate more or less, but you are just writing to you and me and your fellow citizens.
Great, thank you both for sharing this experience of yours. So maybe to people who are listening to us, tell us in the comments, have you already shared some ideas on this platform, or do you now want to? Let us know about your experience too. So yeah, let's move on. I was thinking, if you could maybe tell us how Together.eu and the European Parliament have supported you with your projects. What can you ask them? What is possible for them to do for you? Maybe Mauro, you would like to start.
Yeah, in our case, we are extremely thankful to the European Parliament Liaison Office in Spain. They've been incredibly helpful, incredibly supportive of everything we've done. And I don't know if anyone from there is watching, but just in case, thank you very much. I don't have any complaints. We've done panels, we've done webinars, we've done everything with them. So like all kinds of events, all kinds of activities, and they've been incredibly supportive. One of the things that I like the most that we've done with the Parliament is they've given us a voice. They've given us a platform and a voice to express our opinions, to talk about Europe, to talk about the conference, and that's been great. That's been an opportunity to, for example, one of the last things we did, our president, Julia Fernandez, she participated in a panel talking about the conference itself with a bunch of other representatives from associations in Spain. So again, it was an opportunity to bring ideas, not just from us, who are just a big bunch, but just a bunch of young Spaniards, but also from all backgrounds, Spaniards from all backgrounds, from all kind of walks of life that are not maybe in Equipo Europa, but are in other associations and also need to have a say in the Conference of Europe. So I think it's been a great opportunity, and we're extremely thankful to the European Parliament Liaison Office in Spain.
Great. What about you, Janet? I can only second that. It doesn't matter if it's European Union, the European Parliament, or Together.eu. Whenever you reach out and you need help, assistance, or something you can't find, there's always a very quick, very competent answer. And I think that shows, and I think that's people like us who are very active in this. We know that the distance between the citizen, the European Parliament, in this case also Together.eu, these kind of organizations is very small. It's not as big as you think. It's not, so difficult. And I'm also a person who reaches out to our MEPs. I don't know. I write maybe not once a week, but at least every fortnight I do write to a member of the parliament about something, and you always get a reply. And I don't. It's again. I don't do those kind of things for me. It's not about me. It's about us. And if I have sent ideas, I know that they're not going to just promote ideas when I send it to a member of parliament, but I have sent several ideas from the conference platform to MEPs that I know are concerned about this area, who are, always talking about this and this, just to make them aware. There is actually this idea on the platform. You should just know about it. I don't know if the MEPs, they take a lot of time to actually go through the platform as it is. And I just do that to bring awareness so that they can see that we are more people thinking about this than only them. So I can only agree, it's always very easy. And whenever you need help, you get the help and you get the support.
Yes, I think it's very important, Janet, what you're saying also, that actually it seems, this big institution, and actually it's all people. And it's, I might receive the email, the MEPs receive your email, they answer. And of course, the MEPs, so the members of the European Parliament, are going to review the IDs. There are right now citizens panels happening in Strasbourg on the different weekends. So you can have actually a look at on the news website of the European Parliament, where they explain also the whole process. Okay, so I think we can.
If I can just add one thing, because you just said one thing that's very, very important, and that is that all of this is only people. So working, the members of parliament, the people in the institutions working there are only people. Thus, they need the input from us. Even we elect the politicians. It's a utopia to think that they know everything and they know the solution to everything. That's why something like this conference is made. It's because they don't know everything. It's because they need and wish for our support and our help. And if someone is asking you, please help me find out where this future is going, I think we have a responsibility as citizens to actively support that and help them and guide them.
Thank you, Jeanette. Yeah, that's something very important. Thank you. And I wanted, as a last question before opening the floor to people participating, I would like to ask you if you have any tips for people who want to become active and raise awareness about the EU or things like this, but they don't dare to, or they don't know, what's the first step I take? What would you advise them?
I would say, I think social media, even though I know people say it's a double-edged weapon, of course it is, but I think social media can be an incredible tool to find people that share your passions and your interests. I think finding people that share your interest in the European Union, and specifically in a certain topic, that's a great way to do it through social media. And I think it's even better if you find someone or an entity, an association that does that near you. It's way easier to connect with people that are near you, that share the same language maybe than you, and saying the same values. And it's more complicated to find people that in other countries. So I think using social media can be extremely exciting to do that. But one thing that I think should be incredibly important when trying to reach new people and find new people that are not yet in the EU bubble, I think is to widen the scope of what we focus when we talk about the European Union. when we talk about the European Union, we tend to focus on law, we tend to focus on foreign policy, we tend to focus on democracy and human rights, maybe, but it's all within the social science field. And there's an incredibly amount of other fields of studies that no one, or almost no one, talks about in the European Union. And it's a shame, because there's like hundreds and thousands of millions of people that just do that for a living, or are very interested in that, are studying that, especially students. So if we're able to show another side of the European Union that is for sure involved in those fields, I think we can bring in new people that can bring in enormous potential to the conversation, and we need to do that to make sure that no one's left behind.
Great, thank you for those tips. And you, Janet, any advice you would like to give?
Yes, well, I think the moment that you say to yourself, I want to be active, I want to do something, then you've already started. You're already on this journey, and it can be a very lonely journey. And I agree. On social media, reach out. There are several groups, and I recommend really the Together.eu, because we are a pan-European bunch of people with various ideas, various backgrounds, and we tend not only to talk about the classical issues, but Mauro also says we need to broaden the scope. But I think it's also important that we don't just wait for an event, wait for something to happen that you can participate in, because it really starts at home with your friends, your family, your fellow students, your colleagues. We all are part of this. And I'm not saying that you should walk around, with a sign and really, be active that way, because they can be weird and they can be very lonely. But engage in conversations with people. And especially for this conference, we have an opportunity just to engage over dinner with our parents or with our friends, and talk about different issues. And maybe you don't, as a group, make an idea, but that can give you some input and that you can bring to an idea. But I think also what's very important when you want to be active is a lot of people who become active, and in my long volunteer career, I can see that they become volunteers and active because they have political aspirations, and that is all very, very well, very beautiful. But when you are a volunteer and you're an active promoting the EU, you have to maybe put those aspirations aside for a moment and just listen to what people are saying. The best thing a politician can do is listen. I talk a lot. I also listen a lot, and I try also to listen to the unspoken. And especially when we talk about the EU, that's still something very weird for a lot of people. It's not part of really the daily news or discussions unless something big happens. And really, that's where you can start by engaging in conversations, and through that you also get some motivation, because it can be lonely. And before you get really lonely and say, oh, no one wants to discuss the EU with me, you go to the social media, you go to Together.eu or other platforms and discuss with like-minded people.
Great, thank you very much for both of you to share such advice. I'm gonna look into the chat to see the questions of people, so don't hesitate, people, to ask your questions for Mauro and Jeanette. So our first question is from Hugo. He says, in all the European projects that I participated in, I only saw confusion and felt that the money spent on these groups was unnecessary. I became Eurosceptic because I see that money is used more for leisure than to serve society. How can I monitor and demand greater monitoring of the money invested in the Erasmus program? That's a tough question. So I don't know if Janet or Mauro, you would like to answer that?
I don't know how exactly you monitor how the Erasmus money are spent. I can only recommend, I recommend several things. I recommend that if you are skeptical about how the funds are being used, reach out to there are several departments in the EU. You have your own national parliament members, MEPs. Reach out with your question, because it's a valid question, and I think it's a question we've all had. I have also attended events that had support from the European Union in terms of funds, and where you afterwards thought this was a waste of time, and we didn't really, it was just the same people we always see, and we didn't bring anything new to it. So it's a valid question. I don't know the answer for the Erasmus, but I do know what I do when I have these questions. I reach out. I call the European Parliament. You can actually, if you just Google call European Parliament, there's an 0800 number that's answering in your language. When you call from, let's say, from Germany, then there's a German speaking person, and ask this question. It's a valid question, and you need an answer, and go directly to the source.
Yeah, I think that the answer is that. I think the answer is that just reach to the people that are in charge of that, and if you disagree with how the money is being spent, make that opinion heard. I think that it's equally valid the argument of saying that I don't support, for example, funding for specific Erasmus projects. That's okay, and that's an opinion that you have, and if you are really passionate about it, reach your MEP, let them know what you think about it and why you think like that. If you think that our activities are not really towards the greater empowerment of citizens, then maybe the problem is not the program itself. It's just the activities that are being organized. Maybe that can help to make better activities that engage more citizenship. So I think even if it's a Eurosceptic point of view, maybe it can be helpful for the whole European Union.
And if you say, okay, something is really wrong here with funds being spent, you can always reach Olaf. There's a lot of possibilities, but again, my recommendation is just go to the source and ask these questions.
Thank you so much to both of you. So Hugo, you know what you have to do now. Now we have a question from Theodora, who says, do you think ideas of youth from European countries that aren't in the EU could be taken seriously or matter in the greater picture of the future of Europe? Sometimes I feel like we are left out or as less European.
I think that's an issue that maybe not everyone has an answer to. I think we tend to, when we think of the European Union, us Europeans tend to think of the only Europe. And I think that's a problem, because we tend to forget of many, many people, especially young people in neighboring countries, that are not within the European Union, but have the same goals, the same proposals, the same ideals for their countries, and maybe for, in the future, the European Union. In the regards of if they should be taken seriously or matter in the greater picture of Europe, I think so. I think their voices should be heard. I don't think that we should be ignoring them, but I don't know to what extent they're not voting in elections, which is the basic, more direct participation in democracy. But you can lobby politicians if you think you're within your country, especially if you think that your country should push forward for EU integration. Push their ideals in your national parliaments. Work for that goal. If you think that the future of Europe as a whole, as a continent, should be more democratic, fight for that nationally. And I think people are doing that, and I think that's great, especially in countries such as Belarus and Ukraine. I think people are fighting for those goals, and I really think we should at least support them in that fight.
I second that. 100 years ago, when I became active on the European level, it was with DEMIC, and what we did was to make sure that all young people in Europe, so not only in the European Union, but in Europe, were heard. And we did all kinds of things in Strasbourg, etc. It was really great. And I do think that there's no limit, that if you are in a European country that's not an EU member, you can still bring your ideas, because who knows, maybe your country will be a member in 5, 10, 20 years. And it's, again, the conference is about the future. It's not about today or tomorrow. It's really, what do we want? So I think everyone, and I think every idea is being taken seriously.
Thank you. So Theodora, you can input your ideas on the conference platform, and I think everyone is interested to hear ideas also from outside the strict EU boundaries, because one day maybe your country will be part of the EU. Great. So next question is from Giuliano. So you don't need to have a special certification or degree to join debates about the EU future?
No, I think the only certification you need is your ID, maybe saying that you're European, or I mean, not even that. You just need to be active, an active citizen. I think as Jeanette said before, you don't need to be an expert. You don't have to be a politician. You don't have to write in any fancy law language. You just have to write your opinion, say what you think, and even if it's not the greatest idea of the world, it's not going to change to the tomorrow, but it's maybe going to improve in a way, or in your perspective, Europe. And I think that's the goal, to bring new ideas to the table, even though they're not maybe the most important things. Maybe people are proposing here that to change the role of the high representative of the European Union, but maybe you're proposing changing something very specific of how something works, and nobody thought of that. And maybe just because you said, hey, I don't like this, or I don't think this could be done better, just your idea. You don't have to be a professional or a scientist or anything to propose anything as this. So please just bring your ideas forward and participate in the conversation.
I second that, and I really think solidarity is a lifestyle. It's not a feeling, and if you care about the society in which you live, and you care as a citizen about your fellow citizens, not only the ones your neighbors, but actually your neighbors in other countries in the whole of Europe, I mean, then you bring your idea. If we would limit this to like people with a diploma or whatever who's qualified to write any ideas, I don't think we would get a lot of ideas. I mean, that's so. This project is really, the conference is about us. So all of us, from grandmothers to babies, but they tend not to say so much. But still, it's also for them.
Yeah, the thing we have to remember is that this is an exercise of direct democracy. And democracy is not just for degree holding individuals. Democracy is for everyone. And as such, everyone should be part of the conversation.
Sorry, problems unmuting myself. Great. I mean, I don't know you guys who are listening, but me, I'm all boosted. I just want to run on the conference platform now. Okay, I think it's another question from Giuliano. I guess it's the same Giuliano. So he's asking, is there also an opportunity to join? So it's written a debate. I think it's a debate. To join a debate about volunteering experience, it gives maybe advices for improving future volunteering projects.
I do know that we have started in the Together project. We have like these coffee meetings that we have started this process, where there was I think it was a proposal that came from several of us volunteers, that we would meet now and again online to just simply discuss activities and events, how to improve, how to do this, how to do that. Because if you have an idea on an event that you want to do, maybe in Italy or in Spain, and you're not really sure how to do it, maybe there's someone in, I don't know, Sweden or the Netherlands who've done a similar idea, and you can exchange with them. So again, I recommend go to the Together.eu, be part of that community, because we do hold these cafes where it's really informal. It's not so much a debate. It's just where we discuss among volunteers, brainstorming.
Yes, exactly what Janet is referring to is when you join Together.eu and you decide to be a volunteer, because you can also be like a supporter. So a volunteer is, of course, somebody more active. You can also join this Facebook group we have for volunteers at European level. So you can also have this really European experience and get to discuss with people from other countries, and maybe, for example, the other day we have somebody who said, oh, I want to create a podcast series about youth programs, and so that people know more about them. Does anyone have any advice? And then you have some someone who answered, "Oh, I can help you on the podcast thing. Oh, I can help you with ideas for EU programs." So that's how it starts. And indeed, we're having these Zoom cafes where everybody can come with their ideas and experiences and questions. So yeah, like this, I think it's the best way, yes, to improve also some such projects. Mauro, did you wanted to react to this one or?
I think I have the same answer to the Janet and you gave. So just look into the opportunities that are uploaded in Together.eu.
Okay, and I think the next one is for you, Mauro, because it's a question from Laia, which asks, where is the Spanish office? Or how can the Spanish citizen be aware of these EU meetings in order to join in?
Okay, so I think she's asking about the European Parliament liaison office, and there are two in Spain actually. There's one in Madrid, and there's another one in Barcelona. So whichever is closer to you, but you don't have to go to physically to there to be able to participate in the events and activities that they organize. They do a lot of stuff that is online, for example. So I think the best way to know what the European Parliament liaison office in Spain is doing right now is to check on social media. They have social media for the office itself in Spain, and you can see everything that they're doing, everything they're organizing, and you can just join the conversation there. And any event that they organize, they are free to enter. They're available to everyone. So if you just want to participate, and I know they're doing also now. They did an event in Madrid that was not online. They were actually there, and they were talking about the conference, and they were asking for people to bring random people in the street to bring their ideas onto the conference, or actually write a paper down and say, what do you think the future of Europe should look like? So there's possibilities to participate in almost any sense.
Yes, so you can find the list of the offices online. If you type European Parliament liaison office in my country, you will have the whole list. So, and then of course with their email address, physical address, because this still counts, phone number, etc. So don't hesitate to reach out to them. Okay, so we're gonna go for a last question. Ooh, that's also a tough one. So Ruben is saying, I would like to ask about the energy issues, because in my country, we face problems related to the price of the energy. Can the EU attenuate this problem to the future generations?
Yes, this is becoming an increasingly more important topic right now, and I think the EU has a role in it. I've read so far that a few countries have proposed measures to address this problem, but I think the energy is going to be the key issue for the next few years with the climate transition and the green transition itself, and the way we change our energy dependence. So yes, the EU for sure should have a voice on this, because the EU should push for greater green project, for greater green energy, and for greater sustainability. So I think they should not only have a solution for this price hike that we're suffering right now, but they should have a solution for the next generation, so that energy is affordable for everyone, so they're from clean sources, and that is accessible to anyone. So yeah.
And this issue, especially this issue we've seen with the pandemic, but especially with issues like this, we can solve that better together. We can solve that better when we are united and we're not fighting each other, that each country is like doing their own thing. If we stand together on this, then we have a chance to make it better for the future. We probably can't save it right now. It is as it is maybe for this winter, but when we're united in it, it just makes more sense.
Thank you very much. So that was the last question. I just wanted, I see there are also some questions again about the Together cafes we were speaking about. So yes, the idea is really first to join the Together.eu community. To do that, you just use the link that we're going to put in the comments again. You register, and then you join the Facebook group. It's going to be indicated in an email answer to you, and then you will see there the next date. So this is something we started in September, and we are going to try to have it once a month, and so stay tuned, and we will be happy to see you there. So we're gonna wrap up now. So I think we heard lots of great advice, like reach out to people to get the answers you need. Don't hesitate to phone and to search online, to go on social media to find like-minded people who would like to do the same. Don't hesitate to reach out, of course, to the European Parliament office in your country. And really just go for it. Everybody is a citizen, everybody has ideas, and don't hesitate to participate on the platform, on the conference on the future of Europe. And also, if you don't have ideas yet, go there, check out the ideas that are there, maybe comment, share them with people around you, and that's already a great step. So thank you, everyone. And if you have more questions, you can still contact us, so the speakers, via the I platform, since we can, connect with each other, and we will be happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much for following us today, everybody, and maybe see you physically in Strasbourg at the end of the week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.